This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the light. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to what is the first video of July 2023. Believe it or not, where does the time go? It seems only yesterday that I started looking at 2-year-olds in 2022 and making videos. Really is ridiculous. Right, what we're going to do today is we're going to continue our National Hunt review while things are relatively quiet. We've got a few ledger trials coming up, haven't we, really? And the Irish Oaks. But that's about it, really. 2-year-olds, well, obviously, videos for them will start maybe to come. Well, they've already come out, really. It was very satisfying for 2 of the 3 Ascot 2-year-olds to actually land the 2 Group 2s at the cover. That was absolutely superb to see, really. The less said about the third one of them, though, Democracy, the better. You know, that one isn't doing very well. Ramatuelle as a pattern winner. I think we've looked at 6 2-year-olds, and I think 3 of them have already won group races. Off the top of my head, Pearls of Rubies was placed in the listed race. Matrika was one of Group 2. Ramatuelle was one of Group 3. Democracy, not yet. And the Bucanero Fuerte, the Railway Stakes winner. You know, the only one that we're waiting on really is Buttons that didn't run at Royal Ascot. ClassicWatch2023.ml really is the site. That's for this year's classics. It hasn't been updated for a while, the Roll of Honour. I stuck a couple of French horses on the other month at the end when we were looking at around the French Oaks time, but I don't think the site, the Roll of Honour, has been updated. Doesn't cover Royal Ascot, doesn't cover the Irish classics at all. You know, so whoever's making this site is lazy and needs to pull their finger out, I think. It needs updating. I think I'll have to have a word with him. Right, we're going to crack on now. ClassicWatch2023.ml is the website. ClassicWatch2023. Right, we're going to crack on now. Punchestown Festival was at the end of April 2023, so we're only 2 months behind. We like to reflect on what they've done. But to be honest, don't really look at the jumps at all during the summer. You know, depending on runners this year, we might have to do Galway if I've got a few. But I'm not hoping we haven't. You know, it's not a festival I usually get involved in, Galway, to any great degree. But if horses identified by me are running, then I'll have no choice but to cover it. We're going to just cover the first 2 days of the Punchestown Festival. It's a long week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. It's the same as Royal Ascot in length, but there's 8 races a day, probably 2 bumpers a day, handicaps for horses weighted 110, cross-country races, a lot of average racing to sit through. Without a doubt, there is some top-class pattern races at the to reward everybody for sitting through a lot of the filler. The first runner we had was actually in the first race. It was a listed mare's novice hurdle. I think it was, yes. And we're going to take a look at our runner in there. Was Night and Day, a horse that really is frustrating me so far. It's not kicked on as well as I would hope it would. A horse that well bred would kick on. You know, it's been weak in the market as well, and a few races, and well bred horses weak in the market. It indicates to me 2 things. Really, it always has done. Either the people with the horse are just fixing the races and not trying with it, or connections don't really know what they've got. You know, either way is very concerning, you know, moving forward. But Night and Day had a chance here to redeem herself in the listed Punchestown hurdle after a couple of fairly average runs. So let's see how she got on. We were quite hopeful, really, because this horse I do like. I was quite hopeful that she could get the festival off to a good start for us.
White flag raised. Thereof, in the first race of the festival, the Howden Insurance Brokers Mares Novice Listed hurdle over 2 miles. Short run of the first. It's Nikini and Still CL rising together, followed by She Could Be Anything. Not far off them is All About Lucy. These are followed by the top one, Henning and Sailor V in between horses. Lucy Van Pelt next. Moving on by a length and a half is Still CL, going uphill to the second flight, followed by Nikini. Just in third place is Henning, then Lucy Van Pelt, and She Could Be Anything. All About Lucy next. On the outside is In Franchise, being followed on rising ground by the Model Kingdom as they link up with flight number 2. Still CL the leader, followed by Nikini. On the inside, She Could Be Anything, tracked by Henning, Lucy Van Pelt, All About Lucy, and Franchise next. Night and Days on the outside of stable companion Sailor V, and then the Model Kingdom was followed by Popova, and Lady Bank and Dam Repeat, and bringing up the rear is A Walk with Paul. Flight number 3 at the top of the track, Still CL up and over by 2 lengths. In second place is Nikini. Alongside Nikini on the descent is Henning, and then She Could Be Anything, followed by Lucy Van Pelt and All About Lucy in between horses. On the outside is In Franchise. They're tracked by the Model Kingdom as they continue downhill. In the lead is Still CL, maintaining a couple of lengths advantage over Nikini in the hoops. She Could Be Anything on the inside, followed by Henning as they go to the fourth flight. Next is Lucy Van Pelt with All About Lucy in the Model Kingdom. Racing towards the far side, another 5 flights left to jump, and it's Still CL and Shane Fitzgerald cutting out the running from Nikini and Patrick Mullins. Disputing third, Henning, Daniel King on the outside of She Could Be Anything, and Jordan Gainford returning from injury, and then Lucy Van Pelt, JJ Slevin. Down the far side they go to the first of 2, and Still CL has opened up, got 3-length advantage, going towards the halfway stage from Nikini. She Could Be Anything. Henning next, rattle the top bar, and then In Franchise, and All About Lucy next with Lucy Van Pelt in the Model Kingdom. And on the outside is Lady Bank. Continuing right across from the stands to the last flight in the back straight. This will be 4 from the finish. Still CL, Nikini, Henning, She Could Be Anything, the leading 4. And then In Franchise, who's followed by All About Lucy in the Model Kingdom. The back marker is Night and Day and pushed along by Paul Townend. Heading out of the back straight. And the leader continues to be Still CL, followed by Nikini, disputing second with She Could Be Anything, and then In Franchise and Henning, All About Lucy, the Model Kingdom, and then Walk with Paul and Lady Bank and Dam Repeat next with Popova. Lucy Van Pelt has dropped away in the Night and Day and Sailor V. They're the final couple, heading towards the final half mile. It is Still CL, continuing to put in a good shift. Leads 2 lengths, followed through by She Could Be Anything and Nikini. Not much between them for second and third. Taking a stumble was Nikini. Patrick Mullins did well to stay in the plate. Then Henning and Franchise makes good ground on the outside. 2 to jump, and they're tightly grouped with Still CL, Nikini, followed by In Franchise, who nodded on landing. Then She Could Be Anything in Henning, All About Lucy, the Model Kingdom. Walk with Paul is closing in the red jacket. And then Dam Repeat and Night and Day and Lady Bank as they swing into the straight. 1 flight left to jump, and it's Still CL from In Franchise, driven up on the outside of Nikini. She Couldn't Be Anything, will need racing room, has just about got the split. Then Walk with Paul and the Model Kingdom is creeping onto the heels of the leaders. 1 flight left to jump, and it's Still CL from She Could Be Anything, who's coming to challenge. Right in behind them is the Model Kingdom, who's now angled out. Then Walk with Paul away from the final flight. Night and Day is keeping on the outside, but it's She Could Be Anything who's gone to the front from the Model Kingdom. Still CL can't give any more, and then Walk with Paul, but it is She Could Be Anything, the first winner of the festival for returning Jordan Gateford and Gordon Elliott. They're good winners by 4 lengths from the Model Kingdom. Walk with Paul, the early leader, Still CL in the Night and Day.
Well, I remember this race when I watched it at the time, and it's such a frustrating race. Looking back on it still, because why was the horse ridden so wide? All the way down the track, he had it so wide. Never had it covered. Made no effort at all to cover her up at all. Pedigree-wise, though, with the horse being related to Super Sunday, you would think that it's ready for a step up in trip, wouldn't you? It was 5th there, but the commentator said it was staying on. I mean, he was watching a different race to me. I thought it at the time, because I didn't think it was. I thought it was just a bit one-paced. It wasn't passing any with any great pace. It was just running on at one pace through beaten horses. I mean, to me, it never once threatened the front of the race. Since I identified the horse, it's been an absolute disaster, really. Because since then in May, it was actually pulled up in a listed mares hurdle at Killarney as well. Again, the prices it's going off at, after winning its maiden at 2 to 5, running to a mark of 136, the horse has not shown anything like that in 3 runs now. Yeah, that was the best run that it's done since I identified it, what we've just seen. And that run has to go down as average, in my view, at best. I mean, I followed some disappointing horses in my time, but this is up there, this one. Looking back on it and reflecting on it with the cold light of day, this horse has done absolutely nothing. To See the Moon was a good stallion. We've had Alpine Star on the flat by See the Moon. Half sister to Super Sunday. What are they doing? They've tried it over 2.5 miles. It was pulled up at Fairy House. They've dropped it back in trick then for 2 miles, around 2 miles and a bit, for 2 listed races. And to me, it's been average in both of them at best. I mean, it's one that's quite close. I don't like to give up on jump horses because I know that in 3 or 4 years' time it could be a novice chaser or something. But this is one that if they kept it handicap hurdling next year, it'll have to improve if they kept it hurdling. Won its maiden hurdle now, so it can't run in novice hurdles next year. It can run in mares races. They can go novice chasing. But it's one that has been very disappointing, I think, considering the pedigree of it, night and day. Right, the next race we had an interest in on the second day was in the Grade 1 novice chase. Another Simon Munir and Isaac Swede horse. James du Berlay, who this year is rather similar to this one. He won his beginner's chase quite nicely and was then pitched into Group 1 company. I mean, unlike Night and Day, James du Berlay has been kept, really, to grade 1 company. He's been beaten quite conclusively on a couple of occasions, though. As a consequence of that, I felt it was quite hard to be confident when he turned up at Punchestown Festival because a lot of these he'd already been beaten by. Well-bred horse, but I felt at the time he was getting a bit exposed, really, behind some of these, and they needed to do something different, I thought. So I was quite nervous when I watched the race. Wasn't really as confident as I'd like to be with any of my selections, really. Let's see how the old boy got on.
Being called in as the white flag is raised, away they go over 3 miles. And the Grade 1 Irish Midden novice hurdle, 13 flights to jump, and it's Favori de Sean Dew, who makes it early. Dad O'Keefe falls in here for Jordan Gainford on the front runner.
This is the wrong race, isn't it? Apologies for that, everybody.
White flag is raised, and they're off over 3 miles in the Grade 1 Dooley Insurance Group Champion Novice Chase. 17 fences to jump as they approach the first one in the back straight. Fed and Nilly over in front of Appreciated. Sir Gerhard, Classic Getaway racing together, and then Journey with Me and James de Burleigh as they go to their first ditch. Fed and Nilly the leader from Appreciated as they jump the second. Journey with Me is racing up to the first couple, and then Classic Getaway, the white cap on the inside of Sir Gerhard, with the back marker James de Burleigh. Turning across out of the back straight to fences 3 and 4. Fed and Nilly joined by Journey with Me, 2 in front of Appreciated, then Sir Gerhard. Classic Getaway last but 1, and bringing up the rear is James de Burleigh. as they face up to fence number 3. Journey with Me has been sent to the front by Rachel Blackmore, heads Federnilly and Donna Myler, and crashing through it, Sir Gerhard, but survived under Patrick Mullins, who's alongside stable companion Appreciate It and Paul Townend. And then Classic Getaway, Danny Mullins with the back marker, James de Burley and Daryl Jacob, fence number 4, taking the minute of the straight for the first time. And obviously one from last was Classic Getaway. Journey with Me with Federnilly, changing course to the outside. Break then of 4 lengths to Appreciate It, Sir Gerhard next, and then Classic Getaway and James de Burley. On to fence number 5. First of the 2 in the straight. Journey with Me and Federnilly, separated by a length. Then Appreciate It, Sir Gerhard with a white face, and then Classic Getaway and James de Burley. Fence number 6 and the last one next time. And it's Journey with Me and Federnilly, landing with not much between them. 5 cleared of Appreciate It. And then Sir Gerhard, Classic Getaway and James de Burley. As Federnilly swaps the lead with Journey with Me, 6 lengths back to Appreciate It, who's followed by Sir Gerhard, Classic Getaway and James de Burley. 11 fences left to jump. And the Dooley Insurance Group champion, Stayers Novice Chase, Grade 1. Federnilly shifting on by a couple of lengths to Journey with Me, closer in third Appreciate It, and then Sir Gerhard, Classic Getaway, and James de Burley going up to the top of the track. 10 fences left to jump as they swing towards number 8. Federnilly in front from Journey with Me, Appreciate It, Sir Gerhard, followed then by Classic Getaway and James de Burley. Over this fence, which will bring them down towards the halfway stage. Federnilly and Journey with Me, leading the 4 Winnie Mullins Trail runners, Appreciate It, Sir Gerhard, Classic Getaway and James de Burley, as they head for fence number 9 in the second ditch. Federnilly the leader by 2 lengths to Journey with Me, and another 2 lengths back to Appreciate It. Then Sir Gerhard, the blue cap on the outside of Classic Getaway, and rear of the sextet is James de Burley, fence number 9. The second ditch, Federnilly. Journey with Me made a mistake there, got away with it. Then Appreciate It, Sir Gerhard, Classic Getaway and James de Burley. On to fence number 10. Having passed halfway, the leader is Federnilly from Journey with Me, again far from fluent, and has lost second to Appreciate It, who's chasing Federnilly 2.5 lengths back as they turn to head down the far side with 7 fences left to jump. Federnilly now followed by Appreciate It, Journey with Me, shuffle back to third, and then Classic Getaway, Sir Gerhard, and still held up last of the 6 is James de Burley, first of 3 fences down the far side. And it's Federnilly from Appreciate It, Journey with Me, Classic Getaway, Sir Gerhard and James de Burley as they complete their first circuit. And now to the fence, the middle fence in the back straight, 6 out. Federnilly, the pale blue jacket from Appreciate It over, and Journey with Me is a faller. Sir Gerhard had to sidestep the falling Journey with Me as they head to 5 fences from the finish, and their last ditch yet to rise. Rachel Blackmore as Federnilly is joined by Appreciate It, then Classic Getaway. Sir Gerhard on the outside of James de Burley as they come off the back straight. 4 fences left to jump. Federnilly tracked by Appreciate It, then Classic Getaway. Rachel Blackmore has got to her feet okay with the final couple. Sir Gerhard and James de Burley, half a mile to go. For the jump, Federnilly and Donna Myler, followed closely by Appreciate It and Paul Townend. Then Classic Getaway, Danny Mullins the inside of Sir Gerhard, Patrick Mullins, and then James de Burley and Daryl Jacob. The 4th last fence, Federnilly and Appreciate It. Couple of lengths in front of Classic Getaway and Sir Gerhard and James de Burley as they head for the fence on the home turn. This is 3 from the finish. Federnilly from Appreciate It, Classic Getaway, James de Burley relegates Sir Gerhard to be last of the 5 remaining runners as they run the home turn. 2 fences left to jump, and it's Fedinelli re-establishing a 2.5 length advantage over Appreciated. James de Burleigh's through on the inside, has come up from last, then Classic Getaway, and they've left behind Sir Gerhard. Straightening for the final 2 fences, and the Dooley Insurance Group champion Stairs Novice Chase. Fedinelli from Appreciated in the centre. On the left-hand side is James de Burleigh, followed then by Classic Getaway. On the run of the final fence, and it's Fedinelli from Appreciated trying hard. James de Burleigh towards the inside, then Classic Getaway. They've yet to get to the front, running Fedinelli over the last couple of lengths clear from Appreciated, and on the far side is James de Burleigh. Inside the final half furlong, Fedinelli from Appreciated, who's coming late, but it's too late. Fedinelli sees him up. Appreciated second, third James de Burleigh. Classic Getaway in fourth, and Sir Gerhard brought to a halt close to the last fence.
An interesting race, that, I thought. You know, I mean, I've been quite critical of a couple of runs by the horse, James de Burleigh, really, this season. But I think it's quite hard to be critical of that performance. You know, he's got some nice horses in behind him there. Sir Gerhard, a dual Cheltenham Festival winner. You know, Journey With Me, a good pattern race winner that can't jump, that has always had jumping issues. But before this race, when it went off favourite, he had strung together a couple of victories. Classic Getaway, never been with that one, but it's always been quite highly touted. And I think if people look at the way the horse has been campaigned this year, I think they'd have to agree that since the horse won, run into 155 on New Year's Day, when I identified him, I think you'd have to say that's probably his best run. Even though the rating of 151 was high there, he's actually last, 6th of 7 there at Cheltenham. Hardly beat any horse's own. You know, he went through a race there, look, of racing and never beating any horses even. And then in the Irish race we looked at last time, they tried to adopt front running tactics with the horse. That never quite worked. And they held him up there, and he come through nicely at the end and just found two a bit too good on the day. Look at his chase handicap mark of 148. His hurdles mark is actually 156. You know, so excuse me. I mean, you've seen the horse go round now in a few Grade 1 chases, 4 Grade 1 chases. That's the most competitive he's been. You've got another season of novice chases. You've got to see now he's in against seasoned campaign chasers now, Shishkin and all the like of them. You know, is he a stay? Could he be a stayer's hurdle horse? You know, people look at his form in over hurdles. He was second in the Champion Stayers Hurdle in Ireland in 2021. A lot of his form has been in France over hurdles. Could the horse? So a couple of runs there in handicap hurdles in France as well. You know, the ratings are tending to back it up now. That this horse could be a better hurdler than a chaser, I think, now. Wonder if they will have a go. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the horse. They were the only 2 horses we had running for us on the first day. So we're going to go on now to the second day of the festival, which was the 26th of April. You've already seen the first 15 seconds of the first race we had, which was the Grade 1 novice hurdle over 3 miles. I mean, we had a good horse in here, Gaelic Warrior. I thought it ran well at the Cheltenham Festival. They only found 1 or maybe 2 too good now. I can't remember at the time. No, I think it was second at the Cheltenham Festival. And it headed to the Punchestown Festival. Quite a warm order, to be fair. 5-4 favourite. It was well supported on the day. And it's a horse I've always liked. It's just a well-bred horse. I mean, people should know what they get with horses like this. A well-bred horse that wins more often than not. So let's see what it can do in this race here.
Being called in as the white flag is raised, away they go over 3 miles. And the Grade 1 Irish Miller novice hurdle, 13 flights to jump, and it's Favori de Sean Dew, who makes it early. Dad O'Keefe falls in here for Jordan Gainford on the front runner. Embassy Gardens in second place, Danny Mullins, and then Kalanishi Star and Philip Enright as they arrive at their first flight. Favori de Chandeau lands 3 clear of Embassy Gardens, Kalanishi Star, and then the mare, What Could Have Been. These are being followed by the grey Hattie de Zongre on the inside of Salvador Ziggy, and then Franciscan Rock, held up at the back, both Gaelic Warrior and Affordale Fury. About to link up at flight number 2, the end of the back straight. Favori de Chandeau from Embassy Gardens, who's closed up. Then What Could Have Been. And Salvador Ziggy and Kalanishi Star. Hattie de Zongre next with Franciscan Rock. The final couple are Gaelic Warrior and Affordale Fury. Reaching their final 2.5 miles as they come out of the back straight to flights 3 and 4 on the turn in. Favori de Chandeau reeled in by Embassy Gardens, who's within 3/4 of a length, the break of a length, to What Could Have Been, then Kalanishi Star. Salvador Ziggy next, then Hattie de Zongre. Franciscan Rock, followed by Gaelic Warrior, and Affordale Fury brings up the rear. On to flight number 4. Favori de Chandeau by a couple of lengths to Embassy Gardens, the red cap. And then with the noseband, What Could Have Been. Kalanishi Star, Salvador Ziggy, Hattie de Zongre with the back 3, Franciscan Rock, Gaelic Warrior, and Affordale Fury. As they complete their first mile, they turn in for flight number 5 in the straight, and the last one in a circuit's time. It's Favori de Chandeau, followed in by Embassy Gardens, then What Could Have Been. Just in third from Kalanishi Star and Salvador Ziggy, and they're followed on straightening by Hattie de Zongre, Franciscan Rock, Gaelic Warrior, and Affordale Fury. Very few changes in the order. At flight number 5 and the final flight next time, Favori de Chandeau in front under Dad O'Keefe. From Embassy Gardens, Danny Mullins. Third on the rail is What Could Have Been and Sean Flanagan. They're tracked by Kalanishi Star and Philip Enright. In between horses is Salvador Ziggy, Mark Walsh, break of 2.5 lengths back to Franciscan Rock and Ricky Doyle, and Hattie de Zongre and Rachel Blackmore. Gaelic Warrior, Paul Town, and one from last. And bringing up the rear is Affordale Fury and Danny McMenamin. The uphill flight, taking them towards the side of the track, Favori de Chandeau from Embassy Gardens, who fiddled it in second. And then What Could Have Been, Kalanishi Star. Salvador Ziggy next, then Franciscan Rock. Hattie de Zongre, Gaelic Warrior, 2 lengths to Affordale Fury. Uphill they go to the next flight. In this 3-mile Grade 1, the Irish Mirror Novice Hurdle. Favori de Chandeau, Embassy Gardens continue 1 and 2. They're followed by What Could Have Been. Edging closer is Salvador Ziggy, the diamond jacket and white cap. Then Kalanishi Star and Hattie de Zongre, Franciscan Rock, Gaelic Warrior. And the favourite has one behind, Affordale Fury. Returning to their point of departure as they continue downhill. Another 6 flights left to jump. Favori de Chandeau yet to be headed, followed by Embassy Gardens. What Could Have Been, Salvador Ziggy, Kalanishi Star. With the final 4, Hattie de Zongre, Franciscan Rock, Gaelic Warrior, Affordale Fury. The circuit under their belts as they race to the final 10 furlongs with 5 flights to jump. Favori de Chandeau continues to lead the field from Embassy Gardens. What Could Have Been disputes third with Kalanishi Star and Salvador Ziggy. Hattie de Zongre, the inside of Franciscan Rock, and then Gaelic Warrior and Affordale Fury. Going to the flight which was their first, it's 5 from the finish. Favori de Chandeau by less than a length to Embassy Gardens. Salvador Ziggy in between Kalanishi Star and What Could Have Been. Then Hattie de Zongre and Franciscan Rock, Gaelic Warrior. And although Affordale Fury is the back marker, the field has tightened up considerably with just over 3/4 of a mile to go and 4 flights to jump. Favori de Chandeau from Embassy Gardens, who continues to give chase. Then What Could Have Been on the inside, with Salvador Ziggy and Kalanishi Star, and then Franciscan Rock. Hattie de Zongre, Gaelic Warrior, joined at the back by Affordale Fury. Reaching the final 5 furlongs with 3 flights to jump. Favori de Chandeau by length to Embassy Gardens as they come out of the back. Then What Could Have Been, Salvador Ziggy, Kalanishi Star. Harry Desongre next, being followed by Franciscan Rock, Affordale Fury and Gaelic Warrior. 4.5 furlongs to go and 3 flights to jump. Favori de Shondu into the next from Embassy Gardens. And what could have been, followed by Kalanishi Star and Salvador Ziggy. Affordale Fury is closing on the outside of Gaelic Warrior, then Franciscan Rock, and knocked back to last is Harry Desongre. Embassy Gardens wrapped that flight. It's Favori de Shondu coming round the home turn. Leading a length and a half, Embassy Gardens, with Gaelic Warrior through on the inside, being followed by Franciscan Rock, who's closing along with Affordale Fury, 2 legs to Kalanishi Star. What could have been fades, and then Harry Desongre as they straighten for the final flight. Are coming together. Franciscan Rock bumped Embassy Gardens. It's Favori de Shondu on the rail. Affordale Fury in the middle of the track, but poised as Gaelic Warrior in the spots. Franciscan Rock digs in, and Gaelic Warrior has swept by in between horses to go on and lead. From Affordale Fury in third place is Franciscan Rock, and it is Gaelic Warrior lengthening well clear. Up and trip to 3 miles, resumes winning ways in the Irish Mirror hurdle. Another grade 1 for Paul Townend and Willie Mullins.
What a horse. That's all that people really can say when they watch this horse. Brilliant horse. Absolute credit to the connections that bred the horse. And the Arcos family. Absolute geniuses. I mean, Maxios, good stallion, well-bred stallion. The pedigree is there for all to see on the dam side, those who take the time to go and look at it. Absolutely fantastic horse. And absolute pleasure really to identify it and be able to watch it go round. I mean, it's destroyed that lot. And I mean, people could say it was entitled to beat that lot like that. And it did. The horses can't really do a lot else than that sometimes. And very fascinating to see where they go with the horse. People look at it, it's a very consistent horse regarding the ratings. You can chuck a net over it. Its first rating in December was 150 this year, and it's never ran below that since then. They're trying to tell us that the run it had at Cheltenham was its worst run of the year. Can try to start opposite of James de Burle. This one was second. And let's have a look at this, shall we? James de Burle, look. Last bar one at the Cheltenham Festival. And they're trying to tell us that it's run its best race of the year there. Gaelic Warrior, second at the Cheltenham Festival. And they're trying to tell us there it's run its worst race of the year. I mean, come on, people. That's why I'll always say use the ratings as a guide only. Look at the pedigree. They can't manipulate the pedigree. It is what it is. It'll give you an indicator of how good the horse should be. And it'll either reach that ability or it won't. Simple as that. But this horse, absolutely world class. Where will they go with it next season? I'd love them to go novice chasing with the horse. Because it looks to have such an incredible engine. You know, let's see how well the horse can jump fences and go round a few times. You know, I'd love to see that. But, you know, will they go stay as hurdle with it again? You know, it's shown its best form there. Romping home over 3 miles at Punchestown. So it would indicate to me that it's looking maybe an RSA or stay as hurdle. What a choice. I mean, can it not win both? Of course it can't. Theoretically, I don't know if they're on the same day, but you know, the horse is absolutely incredible. You know, I do like the horse. Very good horse. It'll be interesting to see if it can have another season like it's had this year. If it does, and I think people need to watch out. The last race that we had interest in on the first 2 days, was actually the last race of the day. And due to where we get out, contrary to the opinion of the OD Media Network, which is a Dutch company that likes to attack our videos on behalf of Racing TV or Racing UK, whatever they want to call themselves these days. We get our races from an Australian provider. You know, and sometimes at the end of the day, when it's the middle of the night in Australia, the races just aren't recorded there, so we can't we can't use them. So this occasion is one we do have to use, the Racing TV website. It's an awful website. You can't watch a race without being bombarded with bookmaking adverts. The site really just tries to exist for two reasons. One, to try and censor people by putting all the races on it when nobody's even going there to watch the races. You know, these sites aren't used by anybody. People go to the Racing Post to look at the form. You know, they don't watch race videos on these sites. You know, they're there purely to be able to say that they own the rights to it, and they can censor people like me. It's more of just a holding station, really, for content for them. And the other reason is just to promote bookmakers, to try and get people to go bankrupt to gambling bookmakers, you know. Every video you watch on there is an advert before it. The race in question, what we had in question, was a National Hunt flat race. And it was another Simon Munier and Isaac Swede trained horse that we were interested in. Fun. It was a nice horse. It actually won a Grade 2 bumper for us at the Dublin Racing Festival. So it was impossible not to be optimistic here. It really was when it went for the Grade 3 National Hunt flat race at Punchestown for mares only. Again, like you say, full of Racing TV livery. Awful sight. But we'll review the race and use the race under fair use like we use all our other races. This one, though, we are using Racing TV for you. The rest we don't. I'll say when I do.
2 miles. Here we go. And that off. Cure Deza, first to show in front, followed by Arctic Fly on the outside of Fancy Girl. After the stable companions, Miss Gherkin. Running the rail is Phil's Choice, followed on settling down by Miss Augusta. After them is Bold Reflection with Florence, tracked by Brucio. Gentle Marvel next, and then My Lucky Colleen. On the inside, Rhaenyra. The back marker is Fun, in the white cap. Circuit of race, and it's Fancy Girl going up in between Cute Deza and Arctic Fly. The three almost in a line, followed by Miss Gherkin, Phil's Choice the inside, and then Miss Augusta, followed on Rising Ground by Florence, and then Bold Reflection and Brucio on the inside. Gentle Marvel next, and then Rhaenyra, My Lucky Colleen, and Fun. Heading up to the highest point of the course, Fancy Girl leads narrowly, Arctic Fly, Cute Deza the rail, then Miss Gherkin and Phil's Choice next, followed by Miss Augusta, Bold Reflection, and then Florence. As they go over the mound, Fancy Girl in between Cute Deza and Arctic Fly, covered by just over 2 lengths, then Miss Gherkin and Phil's Choice as they continue downhill. Miss Augusta next with Bold Reflection, and Florence, and Gentle Marvel, Brucio, My Lucky Colleen, Fun, Rhaenyra. Heading to the final 10 furlongs in the Weatherby's General Studbook Irish CBF Mares Grade 3 bumper. Fancy Girl, fractional leader from Cute Deza and Arctic Fly, then Miss Gherkin and Miss Augusta, followed by Phil's Choice, Bold Reflection, and Florence. And Gentle Marvel next. The final 4, Brucio, My Lucky Colleen, Fun, and Rhaenyra. Heading down the far side, soon at the halfway stage, Fancy Girl with a slim advantage over Cute Deza at the inside, attended by Arctic Fly. Then Miss Gherkin and Miss Augusta racing together, Phil's Choice the inside, and then Bold Reflection and Florence next with Gentle Marvel. As they reach halfway, Fancy Girl with a white face, just with the edge from Cute Deza and Arctic Fly. Then Miss Gherkin, Miss Augusta, Bold Reflection, Florence, Phil's Choice, Gentle Marvel next. The final 4, Brucio, My Lucky Colleen, Fun, and Rhaenyra. Tightly grouped, soon to come off the back straight. Close run thing for the lead between Fancy Girl and the Blue Jacket. On the outside is Arctic Fly. In by the running rail, Cute Deza. Making a forward move in between horses is Miss Gherkin, then Miss Augusta and Florence. Phil's Choice, Bold Reflection, Gentle Marvel, and Brucio next with My Lucky Colleen, Rhaenyra, and Fun. 5 to go. Fancy Girl the leader, but only just. to Arctic Fly. On the inside is Cuted Daisy with Miss Gherkin. Florence has made ground under the heads of the leaders, and then Miss Augusta. Bold Reflection is ridden, then Junta Marvel. Brucio next with Phil's Choice. My Lucky Colleen, Fun, Rhaenyra. All to play for with 3 furlongs to go. They're homeward bound. Cuta Zaza is back on terms the inside with Fancy Girl, who's ridden along. Then Arctic Fly, Miss Augusta. Florence next, creeping into contention and coming through in between horses strongly is Junta Marvel. Then Phil's Choice from the back, both Rhaenyra and Fun. Turning in with just over 2 furlongs to go. The picture is changing, and it's Junta Marvel who's come through the field to pick it up from Cuta Daza. Rhaenyra, Fun now been wound up on the outside. Then comes Florence and Phil's Choice and My Lucky Colleen racing to the final furlong, and it's Junta Marvel the leader from Rhaenyra, and then Cuta Daza and Fun inside the final furlong, and it's Junta Marvel and Judy Town and Tuda the Good from Rhaenyra back in 3rd place. It's Fun, but it's going to be a win for Junta Marvel. A day 2 hat-trick for Willie Mullins. Junta Marvel beat Rhaenyra, coming back for the 3rd. Cuta Daza on the inside of Fun.
So it is Junta Marvel who is a 3rd winner.
Well, I thought that was an interesting performance from the horse. I mean, a race for amateur riders, you will see that just by looking at how they all rode the horses. I mean, there was some interesting jockey performances there, weren't there, over hurdles? I mean, on the flat. I like the way Patrick just sort of went up and down on the spot on it for a while, like he was riding on a seesaw at the park. Brilliant. So an interesting race. I thought it was a very average race. Looking at the ratings of it, that they seem to have confirmed that under 120 for a Grade 3 is very poor. Yeah, I mean, you see there that when the horse won a Grade 2 at the Dublin Festival, they're trying to tell us it ran to 122, so a stone worse that race. They're saying it's hard to disagree with that. Very impressive it was at the Dublin Festival on its 2nd start. Less so in its next 2 starts. I mean, to me, this is obviously going to be going novice hurdling next year. There's not really a lot else it can do now. Let's see how it gets on. Mares novice hurdling. It's been a very profitable avenue in the past for me and us. So basically, I don't think it'll be the only one I'll be following at the time once they start going round. But yeah, I'll be more confident about this one than I would be about Night and Day next season. That's for sure. Although this one obviously is a year behind Night and Day. Night and Day's already finished novice hurdling. This one, Fun, is about to start novice hurdling. This one to me is a future chaser. It's related to horses like York Hill, the Listener. Yeah, some nice novice chasers. Nice chasers in there. York Hill was a good hurdler though, weren't he? So it was one that I've got good hopes for next season, without any shadow of a doubt. Right, I'm going to wrap this video up now. We've banged on enough, I think, really, about the first 2 days. I'll be back, mate, hopefully in due course with a look at the last, it'll be 3 days of the Punchestown Festival. I think we'll be able to do in the one video, because I have looked at the runners. If I didn't have the runners to justify doing 2 videos, I would have got them all in one video. You know, we're not chasing ad money here. Got 68 subscribers, just giving information out that I think people might find interesting. If I could have got it all in one video and made you not come back for a second video, I would have done. But I think I'm looking at the time now. It's been on for 43 minutes already. It'll be on for a bit longer if we do another two races, won't it? And one of them's got 2 in the race. So I'll be back, hopefully, at some point, maybe with some flat horses, or to continue our review of the National Hunt season from last year. What I will do is leave you all watching the video a couple of steers. At the end of the video, I'll leave a link to the National Hunt Racing playlist, so people can check out all the other videos from the National Hunt Sphere. And I'll also leave an option for people who have watched this video and have enjoyed it so much that they would like to subscribe to the channel, so they don't miss any more. There will also be an option to do that. But for now, I'll leave the video there. Quick reminder, Classic Watch 2023.ml is the place to Keep an eye on all the flat horses this season, 3-year-olds. ClassicWatch22.ml. It's got some 4-year-olds on it and that. And there's also Reprieve Media CIC Racing. I can't remember the website for that. Rep CIC Racing 2020.ml. I think it is. But for now, I'll leave it there. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day.